What's up guys, God's Elite back with another video. In this video I want to round up all the information I thought was cool and funny or anywhere in between from the EA press conference today, EA Play at E3. And so real quick, smash that like button and let's get into the game. So first we're going to talk about Battlefield 1's new expansion, In the Name of the Czar. Now, I play Battlefield 1 a little bit every now and then. I don't put it on my channel, but I do enjoy it. It's a little bit too much for me as far as all the players and the grand scale of it, but it is fun to play every now and then to kind of get a breath of fresh air when it comes to games. And so with In the Name of the Czar, they say it's the most expansive expansion they've had so far in the game. And they're going to be giving you new content every month for the whole summer. One of the first things they talk about is that now they're going to have night maps. So maps where it's nighttime. And so the lighting of the explosions and things going on are going to kind of change the dynamic for what you do. And are going to allow you and your friends to be able to attack different missions in different ways. And you're going to have to be able to understand how maybe different players can attack you using nighttime. They've also got a new map that has urban combat, and so you're going to be fighting inside of a city and everything, kind of a destroyed place. And basically this expansion is going to be told from kind of the Russian side of things, way over there on the eastern front of World War I. And so it looks exciting. We'll just have to wait and see a little bit more as these conferences go on. I'm sure we'll see a lot more from Battlefield 1, maybe in some gameplay. But so far it's looking to be pretty cool, and I hope you guys are excited for it. Next was Need for Speed Payback, and we kind of got some comic relief with Jesse Wellens. He's a YouTube creator. He makes that very aware during his little piece. I've never heard of him before, but YouTube is a huge world. It's easy for there to be people that are huge out there that you would never hear about. But poor guy, man, I don't know if he was nervous. It seemed like his teleprompter was messed up because the game executive came up and he also had a little problem kind of getting through his lines. So I think maybe there was a teleprompter problem. But man, I got on Twitter instantly and people was roasting him. He had a hard time getting through it. It was a little weird that he was there because I looked up his channel and he really has nothing to do with gaming. And so I don't know if it's just they're trying to find people with millions upon millions of subs just to increase the amount of people that see the games, but we'll just have to wait and see. But they're talking about Need for Speed Payback. I haven't played a Need for Speed game in quite a long time. My favorite Need for Speed is Most Wanted, and nothing since has really captured my attention the way Most Wanted did. So I'm really looking for something similar to that. And Payback looks pretty cool so far. It seems very similar to me in that way. It does have the dynamic of there is a thing called the House, which is a cartel. And so they talked about it just a little bit, and that, you know, in Most Wanted they had the blacklist, the 15 people you had to beat. And so maybe, you know, the House, it could be divided up in these sections kind of in that way. And they had some amazing looking cars. The transition between the cutscene and the gameplay was completely smooth. There was no, like, you went straight from she's sitting on the car to you're driving the car, and it's the same. Everything is the same. And so it's amazing how far the technology's come. And the first thing they showed us was kind of a heist mission. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of the car that they were trying to get because I'll butcher it. But they're trying to get this car. And I kind of wanted to rename it Need for Speed Fast and Furious because, you know, used to a Need for Speed, you kind of just, you had to get your, I don't know, it wasn't reputation, but you had to make yourself more known, especially by the police, so that you could get to the higher up blacklist members. Well, you didn't really have a lot of times where you're like, oh my goodness, I need to take this car out. Like, it happened every now and then, but it wasn't the objective. And the first thing they say is take that car out. And so I feel like there's going to be a lot of times when you're going to have to just destroy the car next to you rather than just race them, which is fine with me. I think it'll be really cool. So I'm interested to maybe play some of it as it gets closer and closer time. Hopefully they might have a demo out or something you can do. But if not, it's something I'm very interested in and probably may get. Especially if they show us later on how big the world is in which we're going to be playing. The next game on the list was A Way Out, and it was created by the same guy who made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Josef Fares, which he actually he mispronounced his own last name, which I do that sometimes. I have a long last name, so it kind of gets muddled whenever I say it. But it looks really interesting. I'm a huge fan of co-op games. I like playing with friends. And so I gather from Brothers A Tale of Two Sons that it was a co-op game as well. I never got to play it, never even heard of it. But basically, in A Way Out, you play as one guy who has been in prison, and he buddies up with a guy who is coming into prison. And it seems kind of like, they're not trying to be buddies in prison because they don't want people to know that they work together. But basically, you and a friend can play both of these characters, and you've got to escape prison. It shows later on that they're out and about in town, robbing a store and trying to meet some of their family. And I don't know if it's going to lead into kind of an open world, go do whatever you want, or if it's going to be still pretty linear as far as gameplay goes. But it looks very interesting. The camera angles, they showed a bunch of the different players, how they see the environment they're in, and how you can tackle different situations how you want to. So one example was a laundry room. You were trying to smuggle some towels or some laundry or something like that, and they said they tried to bribe this guy with some cigarettes, or you could dump some stuff in the machine and make it quit working, so you have to go work on it. Or one guy, he just beat the guy up and did it anyway. So you can do things how you want to, and I think that's really cool. I don't know if maybe while you're in jail or while you're in your cell, if you can just go out and go wherever in the prison you want to. I don't know if you're going to be confined to being near each other, or if one of you can go down to the electrical room while one of you goes to the cafeteria and does this while this one does this. I think that would be so cool, but they are advertising this as a couch co-op. So you and your buddy sit on the couch. Maybe I can get my fiance to play with me if we get it or something. That'll be kind of a way to get her into games possibly, and we'll break out this prison together. But it seems like a lot of fun, and I like the couch co-op. I'm glad that maybe some games are going to go back to it. We don't really have it as much anymore with online play now, but he did say you can online play, but it's just not going to be the same. And so I'm very anxious to see a little bit more from this game. It looks amazing, and I really like a great game with an amazing story. Next is a game coming from BioWare called Anthem. We're going to get a ton more content tomorrow during the Xbox E3 briefing, and so we'll talk a lot more about it tomorrow. But what I want to talk about is how similar it looks to Destiny. So here's the cool thing for me. Destiny predominantly is a PlayStation game. It's on both consoles, but you get the exclusives and a lot of the extras on PlayStation, right? And so Xbox doesn't really have that exclusive game or that thing that's like their Destiny, if you get what I'm saying. And so Anthem's creator, BioWare, they've created all kinds of games. They've created Dragon Age games, Mass Effect, Star Wars. The list goes on. They've created so many games, and I've played some of them, and they do a really good job. They have really great stories within their games. And so one thing I think that maybe they could do above what Destiny has is have an amazing story. So if they throw all the stuff that Destiny has into a game, plus the way they make stories, I think you can have a really cool game. A lot of people might I don't want a Destiny ripoff, or I don't want this. In my opinion, if I have more awesome games that I can play that are maybe a little bit similar, I don't care. But what it seems so far is you have a walled-in city, a lot like Destiny, and on the outside of it, there's some landscape. I actually thought it was Destiny. I had to be like, wait, this is EA. I don't think Destiny's supposed to be there. And then it shows this creature walking out of the woods, and I was like, man, that looks like Evolve. It looks like the first creature you get in Evolve, and he kind of makes this noise, and it sounds really cool. And then they show you these mechs, and the mechs look awesome. They're not like huge mechs. They're like your body really just fits right inside the legs, chest, and arms, and then you go into it. But man, it looks so cool. We'll learn more about it tomorrow, and I'll make an even longer video about it once we get more information. Next is Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, I didn't play a lot of Battlefront 1 because it really was lacking for me. I didn't really like the game very much. It's no story. It's just online, and it suffered a lot from what Titanfall suffered from for me. It was just a lack of content around the board, and to get all the stuff in the game, it just required so much playtime. I just didn't have time for it, and I didn't really care. And so they talked about, how they answered all the questions, and they've added all the stuff that the people giving feedback said they wanted, and they seem like they're delivering so far. The gameplay looks amazing, especially for pre-alpha. The multiplayer looks awesome. The story, I think, with them going through all the different eras, I think that's going to be amazing. And kind of this story from the dark side in a way is going to be really cool, you know, after the Emperor dies. And so I think it's going to be a great game. I'm excited to see more and more from it every time I hear about it. Darth Maul looks amazing. He was really cool. They had 30 minutes of an actual match played, where it was a 3-stage battle, and Darth Maul outside was not doing super great, but once they got inside in those little small tiny corridors, he was hacking and slashing everyone. So it's definitely an amazing game that's going to be coming to us, and I look forward to playing it this fall. Alright guys, that's it for this video. That's everything that I thought was important during the EA's E3 press conference. I'm not a huge sports fan, so especially in video games, I don't really care for sports. So if you do, you can head over to, I'm sure, IGN or GameSpot or somewhere, and they've probably got all the information you need outside of what I've covered here. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. It really helps me out. Comment below. Let me know which of these games are you super excited for, or which ones are you not excited for, or are there some that you're kind of on the fence, or do you have anything else you'd like to add to what I've told you today? Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I always love having some new subscribers in here. And with that being said, guys, have a great E3 weekend, and I will see you in the next video.